Well, hello there. Welcome back to another episode of In Brandon. I'm your host, Kevin Spooner, and if you've been paying attention to the local Brandon news, you've heard that there is an election coming up in Sprucewoods, and we've got all of the coverage you need right here. In fact, today I'm joined by none other than NDP superstar, Ray Berthelette. Pleasure to see you again, Ray. Let me shake your hand.
Evan?
And good to have you in the studio. I know we've had you in the studio before with Mr. Simard, but today we actually get to speak with you as a NDP candidate. This is such a great event, such a great time. How is it being on the other side? Let's start with that.
Well, first, it's an honor to be nominated for the position for the NDP for the Sprucewoods constituency. It was an important day in my life when the Premier made the announcement in Monterey Estates. And since then, our team has been working diligently, going door to door and doing all the good things that need to be done in an election so we can make sure we have great representation in Sprucewoods, namely me as the MLA.
And with Sprucewoods being without an elected representative for so long, what kind of reaction are you getting from the people that are behind the doors that you're knocking on?
I would have to say that everyone we've knocked on is so happy to see somebody knocking on their door, because for too long people weren't paid attention to. They were forgotten, they were taken for granted, but now we got a game plan and we got a game going on, and that in part is because of our great Premier, and also because of the team that is working for us. So the door knocking has been outstanding.
That's great, but it must be a challenge because it's such a big riding. So what is your strategy to try and get to as many doors as possible given the size that you're working with?
Well, we have a good group of volunteers.
Perfect.
So we have them doing a couple things. We have them in our office calling, so because we know we can't get everywhere, right? So we have them calling individuals and asking about our campaign, asking whether they like Wab Kinew, our Premier, and whether they've ever voted. And the responses are remarkable. A lot of people who've never voted for the NDP are saying, I want to hear more. And that's happening, especially when I'm knocking on the doorsteps. As the candidate, almost every community I've been in has said, we've never seen an NDP candidate here, ever.
Really?
And people are telling me, like, I've lived here for 50 years and never seen an NDP candidate. So I says, well, I can guarantee you that if you elect me as MLA, you will see me in the constituency, in your community, representing you with the Wab Kinew government.
Great news. You know, and it's funny you bring it up, because one of the criticisms that I've heard about the Sprucewoods riding is that there's no elected representatives to show up at all of the community events and all of the various things that go on through, especially in the summer season. Have you made it out to any community events for Sprucewoods?
Yeah, it is a large community, so I can see the constituents believe that.
Feeling underserved,
yeah. But what we're finding is we've been to Oak Lake, we've been to Souris a number of times, we've been to Wawanesa, we've been to Glenborough, nice. We've been to Nesbitt. I had Nesbitt coffee with 3 grandmothers and a daughter and a little 6-year-old. And it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal, you know why? Because I knew people they knew. And it is, in a small place like Nesbitt, how do you imagine that somebody in Brandon would know would connect with them.
Yeah.
And as big as the constituency is, there is a lot of lifelines out there where people know people and respect people, because that is so important. I walked out of there with 3 votes.
Nice.
And it was great.
Yeah, well, it sounds like a good, heartwarming story. I bet you felt pretty good leaving that place.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Neat. We should talk about a bit more about your roots and where you come from, how you got involved in politics. I'm sure it's a quite an involved story. What can you share with us about what drove you into the political theater?
I can't say what drove me in, because I started when I was 17.
17?
In university in British Columbia.
Yeah.
Dave Barrett was elected as the NDP premier in and about that time. I helped on his campaign. But in my university courses, they were all oriented towards working with people, social sciences, and wanting to help. And throughout my entire working career, I've been helping people, or trying to help people. So I've held positions as probation officer in Thompson, working on reserves. Previous to that, I was a jail guard in Brandon here. As a program officer, I was conducting programs for domestic violence, anger management, and I would be helping Headley in their working with sexual offenders. As well, I volunteered with the John Howard Society at that time, and I was working with victims of sexual abuse, male victims of sexual abuse. At that time was almost unheard of. Very difficult scenarios and situations, but beneficial, I believe beneficial to the people we were working with.
Yeah, rehabilitation, it's a very touchy subject.
It's very difficult.
Well, because of how hard it is, but
Yes.
it's easy to make promises about rehabilitating, and it's tough to actually put them into action. But I do like that you have a connection to that side of the justice system, because a conservative talking point is always crime, right?
Yes.
So with you, the NDP has a voice that is connected to that issue, probably even closer connected than many of the conservatives are. So it does give the NDP a bit of a leg up, I think, on the crime issue.
Yeah, and crime is a big issue in the rural, and I've talked on many doors with the crime.
Right.
We have spent more money on RCMP officers. We've also done the ankle monitoring for bail people, another 100, and we've also done some communication upgrades, so that way the RCMP officers will be in better stead to get the information in a timely manner. So that's some of what we've done. Bail reform is a big issue, and I know that the Justice Minister met with, and the Premier met with the other premiers and talked about how can we convince the federal government to get tougher on crime. And I understand it was a good meeting with more meetings to come. So we are advocating for that quite strongly.
I do like that we're talking about crime. I hate to see things swept under the rug. So keeping it forefront on everybody's talking points is a great thing, I think, for the community to help feel, lower the anxiety of that crime creates. And so it's good to know that you have a very close connection to the rehabilitation process. So I think we're all counting on our rehab to take people that have made mistakes and teach them how to make better decisions. So
right.
I really appreciate that you have a close connection to that process. That's good news.
Thank you.
Yeah. What else should we talk about? We should. I have to tell you, my friend Olivia Boyce did have some suggestions for how you can win the election. She said the first person that puts traffic lights at Braycrest and 18th, guaranteed, is going to win the election for sure.
Okay, that's always a good. So now I know I have to give Olivia a call and talk to her, right?
Or give her some traffic lights for Christmas.
So you know, we've always been a listening government,
right?
You know, and I can say that the mayor and I have had that conversation a few times, and there is some discussion between our government and the city of Brandon and the mayor's office as to what is the right fit. At that corner. It is a bit more difficult than a normal corner because of the upgrade up the hill, right? So, but the discussions are there and discussions are ongoing. So, you know, as a listening government, we are doing that. And you can tell Olivia I said that.
I will do that, actually. And I would extend an invitation to the Tuesday Bizwalks if you ever want to come out, and you can tell Olivia yourself. She's a regular attendant. Okay. Tuesday Bizwalks, Princess Park, 12 o'clock for anybody listening. Okay. A little shout out for the Bizwalk. But what should we talk about next? I think what we should talk about is what's upcoming? What can we look forward to between now and the election?
Between now and the election, we're invited to the 2 debates. Okay. One in Surrey and one in Brandon. Right. And we will be attending. We are continuing our door knocks. And tomorrow we're going to Rivers. We've been in Glenborough last week. We've been in Wawanesa recently. And Surrey, we're regularly in Surrey talking to people. So that is what I've always based my campaigns on, even when I was working as campaign manager or pre-election campaign manager, depending on the election, was always on knocking on doors and talking to people. You have to talk to people. You just can't send them an email and say vote for me, because that's ludicrous as far as I'm concerned. So absolutely, I want to hear what people say. I'm a people person. Talk to people all my life. Okay, and that was evident in my career as a real estate agent, working in Brandon and rural areas. That it's pretty hard to sell a place if you can't talk about the place, right? So I spent a lot of time and energy working on that.
Well, and real estate is all about making deals as well, right? Mm-hmm. Finding circumstances that both parties can agree to and then making that connection. I imagine that probably serves you quite well in politics.
Well, it's a lot about mediation, right? And that's how I find it. You know, because you have a price point, you have an end point, somewhere in between there, you come to a deal. And I consider that strong mediation skills I did when I was with John Howard, and I was with staff rep of the UCW, and then later again working for Glenn as executive assistant to Minister Simard. So many of my interactions with people have been not focusing on one narrow event, but making it a full package or a full discussion.
A lot to unpack there. I think you seem to have a history of being involved either in politics or in hot button political issues. I'm speaking to the rehabilitation of process. You know, I'm not sure the NDP could have fielded a better candidate for this riding, because the proximity, the working hand in hand with Mr. Simard after the election, having the crime background, having the long history in politics that you have. Why has it taken so long for you to run for office?
Well, I won't say it's taken me that long. It was a quick decision when I decided to run for politics. I've always been a worker.
Oh, yeah, right.
You know,
Okay, yeah.
and all my career at all the various jobs, I've never held a management type position. And I see an MLA as a management position, okay? Because you're the head of a certain area. So I would be the political head of Sprucewoods constituency. I've always been the person who does the work behind the scenes and makes sure that the MLAs or ministers get the correct information and have a process where to let the people know what the right answers are. So that's been my experience and my passion for years. Why did I choose to run this time? I choose to run this time because as president of the executive of the Sprucewoods constituency, I felt it was important that we had a really good candidate. We vetted 8 individuals, 2 very serious ones, and with due to reasons like family and work career, they weren't ready to move on to the next level. And me sitting there knowing that I don't have any of those issues, I said, okay, it's my turn and I will run for the NDP in the Sprucewoods constituency. There's so much going for in Sprucewoods right now. We got the most popular premier in Canada. We have someone who really wants Manitoba to be one Manitoba and really wants Sprucewoods to join and have a seat at the table, because as an conservative MLA, you would be sitting on the outside hoping to get a discussion with the Minister of Infrastructure or the health minister, while as someone sitting at the table, you would see them on a regularly basis and be able to push all the issues into constituency that the reeves and mayors could identify, and I could work with them to have that seat at the table.
Yeah, and the ministers might actually take your phone call, whereas they may ignore a phone call if it had a conservative phone number attached to it.
Yeah,
it's kind of the inside track.
Yes, and it's important because people don't know how much discussion actually happens in the table, right? And until you're there, you're never sure.
Yeah, I think the NDP has positioned themselves fairly well for this election, and because it had generated quite a bit of media buzz, I suspect voter turnout is going to be pretty good, and we're getting 2 debates, which is amazing. So I think, yeah, there's going to be a good voter turnout. It's a very high-profile election, and crime is on everybody's one of their top topics. So you're perfectly positioned, right time, right candidate, and right election. It's kind of you got a little trifecta going on there.
Thank you very much. Well, I appreciate that, but it's just not me. It's the team. You got to have to remember, our team is so important, and they're doing more work than I am. I'm sitting here talking to you, and where I should be out on the door knocking on doors, right? So that's what they're doing right now. So.
But we have air conditioning. No, you're right. You should be out knocking on doors, and I don't want to take up any more of your time than I absolutely have to. But we should give you an opportunity to talk about anything that I've forgotten to ask you.
I would say part of my discussion at the doors is I am only here for 2 years.
Right.
It's a 2-year by-election. So I'm asking everybody to lend me their vote for the next 2 years. See what an MLA can do for you. One that works with the provincial government, that is forward-thinking and is willing to put the plow in the ground and do the hard work that needs to be done in some of these communities. For example, we were in Glenborough last week, paved highways. Premier was there 3 or 4 days before that, announced another paved highway going to Carberry. We have in Oak Lake, the aeration system is being done, and work's going to be done on the dam to keep that a viable option for the community. I mean, we're doing the work. We're not only doing it in Winnipeg, we're doing it out here, and we're doing it in other rural communities as well. So that, to me, is what I'm telling the people, and what's important, that this interview should let the people know we're doing the work.
And you mentioned working on the dike, and flooding isn't a local issue. It's a provincial issue. So, but it takes everybody working together, all of the ridings working together to make an effective flood-proof system, right? And so it's just another way to talk about how working together, and I forget, One Manitoba, is a sound strategy to get us through there's no shortage of natural disasters to talk about.
Yeah.
Anytime, really. And so yeah, I think your working relationship with Mr. Simard is another ace in your sleeve. And I think it's been a pretty exciting time to have this conversation and be able to hopefully introduce the Sprucewoods' next MLA. So there's a bit of it's an interesting, because I've met you with Mr. Simard, so it's a very interesting turn of events, and I almost want to say that what I like the most about you is that how you worked your way up from you started at the bottom of the political ladder, and you've steadily, with hard work and determination, I'm sure, you find yourself sitting in this chair with me today, and it's an honor that, because the history that it took to get you into this chair and the circumstances that it took to get you into this chair, I feel very privileged to be talking with you today.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, and I think that's. Did we forget to talk about anything?
I think we're good. I think we hit all the main topics.
I think we covered it off pretty well. Well, then it's been a pleasure speaking with you, and I can't wait to see you again after the election.
Thank you. And yes, we will be here.
Thank you. Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Ray is going to represent Sprucewoods with skill and determination. I think that is a fair statement to make in these uncertain times, and we'll see you at the election. Till then, take care.